Hey, what's up guys? And you guys see the title, Traveling Under Trump. I don't want to talk about Donald Trump. I don't want to talk about US politics. Liberals are being absolutely ridiculous. Conservatives are being absolutely ridiculous. Trump is being absolutely ridiculous. And it's just getting exhausting because people just aren't listening to each other. So I'm going to stay away from the politics and just talk about policy, or actually what's happening, or perception, the real world, the real shit. So let me start. I think I might have told you guys this before in another video. I was in London during the election night. I was there for a conference. The night of the election, I actually skipped the last day of the conference because I had to get back to Romania. So my flight was at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, so I went to bed early, and the polls were kind of still out. I think it was like even, like nobody was even close to being called the winner. I went to sleep, and I ended up having to get up at like 3:30, 3:45 in the morning. And I got up to take a taxi, and they had announced that Trump had won. And I just laughed because I called it. I saw it coming a mile away. And yeah, as soon as I get in the taxi, Muslim brother, British, started talking about it. Like that. He said, oh, well, Trump. We had a pretty cordial conversation about it, you know, it wasn't too bad. Got on a flight, flew to Romania, ended up getting a female taxi driver, bang, for like 30 minutes. All she could talk about was Trump. Because she had a fear, and Romanians have a very real fear that Donald Trump's relationship with Russia is going to impact Romania, given that Romania has been so pro-American. Excuse me. Romania has been so pro-American in their opposition of Russian government. And it was intriguing, like a British Muslim man and an Orthodox Catholic Romanian woman both had reservations about Donald Trump becoming president. So to say that our election system is global would be an understatement. Regardless of how we feel about it, the United States is the most visible. I won't say the greatest country in the world. I don't want you guys fucking trolling me. But we are possibly the most influential and visible country on the planet Earth. So when our president is elected and says some of the things that he says, does some of the things that he's done, the whole world's going to take notice. So yeah, so I wanted to go over a couple points about what it's like right now traveling under Trump and what I think is going to happen in the future. All right, let me start with kind of a political point. So I've been seeing a lot of prominent travel bloggers and vloggers posting videos denouncing Trump. And I'm like, cool, man. Like, all right, whatever. You don't have to agree with the guy. I don't agree with 99.9% of the shit he does or says. But what I don't like is when liberals or these extreme left people over exaggerate, talking shit like, oh, I'm gonna tell people I'm from Canada, and like totally good, everybody who voted for Trump is racist. It's fucking ignorant. It's intellectually lazy. It is one of the most cowardice things I've ever seen. I'm like, look, man, I do not support everything our government does, but I am still an American. I still support our people, even if I don't agree with the decisions that are made. I'll never stand, you know, I'm from Canada. No, I'm a proud American, for better or for worse. We do a lot of fucked up stuff. Like, we do a lot of bad things. The things that we do in the Middle East are deplorable. We need to be called out on it, and we need to address it, as opposed to furthering and advancing this conversation on a global scale, which those of us who travel have the opportunity to explain why some people actually voted for Donald Trump, or those who hate Hillary Clinton, explain why we decide to run and hide and stay in these little echo chambers and create this narrative where we're the victims. And that's not how it works. That's not how progress works. Progress works when people from all walks of life and different opinions can have a conversation about important subjects. And the reality is that the United States has so much global power that everybody is affected. Global warming is a thing that we need to address. Travel restrictions is a thing that we should address. War and bombing fucking innocent people is something that we should address. As opposed to, no, I'm from Canada. Like, it's ridiculous. It's cowardice. If you are one of those people, please comment below so I can fucking rip you up. Please comment below. So now that we got the ranty part of this out, my views on the travel ban, the Muslim ban, people are calling it. First is that people need to do real research. And this whole, like, fake news has become the new trigger for me. Trigger was my least favorite word of 2016, and fake news is probably going to be my least favorite word / phrase of 2017. There is a lot of misinformation going around. Here's the reality. It is not a Muslim ban. It's just not. Is it based in Islamophobia and xenophobia and racism? Yep, I firmly believe it is. But is it a Muslim ban? No. I mean, it's just not true. That's just not what it is. Is it true that Obama had a Muslim ban or something equivalent to this? No. There were enhanced vetting requirements put into place. But yeah, it's just not true that this is equitable to anything that President Obama did, who also I did not support on everything that he did. So that's just false information. So the left and the right are both just throwing out just false information, and people are eating it up and sharing it and posting and commenting and arguing on it. So I advise you guys to look at both sides of the narrative and just figure out what's the truth, which is really hard. There's a YouTuber by the name of Philip DeFranco, the Philip DeFranco Show. This guy is probably one of my favorite YouTubers because he takes a very impartial view of news, very similar to the way I do things. He's just far better at it than I am. My view on it is that, first of all, some people are throwing around this idea that immigration is a human right. It is not a human right to be able to go to another country. It's just, that's not even a real good argument. I believe that immigration restrictions should be honored, respected, and the law should be pushed. I believe illegal immigration is a big problem in the United States. And I want to say something like 11 million illegal immigrants in the United States. And I'm not saying round them all up and, you know, deport them. That's ridiculous. But I believe that there needs to be comprehensive immigration reform. There was something, look up the DREAM Act. The DREAM Act was probably the best piece of immigration legislation ever created, and it was fucking blocked. And it is insanity that they did not approve the DREAM Act. It was probably the most pro-American shit you've ever seen. We win in every scenario of the DREAM Act, and they wouldn't pass it. It's crazy to me. It should have been an executive order under Obama. It should have been pushed through, period. But, you know, c'est la vie. And I don't know, guys, because I'm stuck in the middle here, and this is part of the privilege of being an American with a little bit of money. I do not believe that you should be able to just show up in any country and just receive the benefits of that country. But I also don't believe that it's even logical to expect that people would stay in a war-torn country, especially countries that are war-torn because of things that we did in the West or that we're doing in the West. A lot of the issues globally are because of us. Like, there is zero reason for us to have any involvement in the Middle East. There's no reason that the United States should be there. The drug trade in Mexico, the source is us. We're the demand. The United States of America is the demand for the drugs that are being pushed through Mexico. This isn't even debatable. This isn't even an opinion. This is a fact. This is a verifiable fact. And it's insane to me that so many people are like, well, close the borders, put up that wall. So, like, no, it doesn't. It's stupid. It is stupid to approach things so simplistically. On the flip side, it's idiotic to just say, yeah, everybody should just show up and we should take care of them. That's just stupid. So my view on, that's the long way around. Sorry about that. I've been talking for like 5 minutes on this one. The long way around it is that there needs to be, if the president or the government wants to put tougher restrictions on refugees and immigrants coming into the country to protect us, I'm all for that. But do not put up fucking magical walls because to those people who are, like, mind you, the big uproar about this was that these are people who are legally in the United States. Now, if you're going to go after illegals, okay, whatever. That's slippery still. But you're going after people who have visas, who are in the U.S. legally. The data just doesn't support this idea that people who are in the U.S. legally or illegally are causing these kind of issues or terrorists. There's just no support for it. So I fully 100% denounce this travel ban. I ain't calling it no Muslim ban. This travel ban and travel restrictions, it's ridiculous. I'm glad they put a hold on it. And to be honest, I don't see Trump backing down from it anytime soon. So get ready for a long fight on this one, y'all. So Eric is currently in Thailand. I am on my way to Belarus, who just opened up visa-free travel for Americans. Which literally happened like a month and a half ago, and I was planning to go to Iran at the end of this year. It hits very, very close to me personally. I have friends from Iran, Iranian families who were affected by this travel issue, and my travels have been officially affected by the travel with them doing this reciprocity ban of Americans. I just don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I think that there's going to be this consistent animosity between the U.S. and other countries, and I'm okay with that to a certain extent. I believe that this whole kumbaya, everybody loves everybody shit is delusional. I think that under President Obama, we had a really, really good 8 years, but we also developed this entitlement, this privilege, this arrogance, which made us believe or forget the reality of the rest of the world. And that's partially because vast majority of Americans don't travel outside of the United States. And when you live in this bubble, this little bit of bubble, you don't understand that other countries have tight immigration legislation. Like, I've been denied visas 3 times in 3 different countries. Like, you can't just show up. And you know, you understand that if you travel as much as I do or travel at all. You know, it's ebb and flow, really. It's like Belarus just opened up to the United States visa-free after for so long it had been closed off. And now Iran is closed to us for the time being. I'm pretty sure they're going to open up soon enough. But it's something that we're going to have to deal with. And that's the reality of international relations. You know, sometimes, for example, the visa thing for Vietnam that I told you guys earlier. The reason that we can just show up to a lot of countries is because of what our government does. It's because of the negotiations they make. Now, that's the reality. Some of these negotiations go in our favor, and some of these negotiations don't go in our favor as Americans. But it's still a bitch to get into the United States for somebody who's not American. Like, so if you're an American and complaining about visa fees, which I do quite often because I'm cheap as fuck, but if you're an American complaining about people getting legally into the United States, just step back and just look at the process that people have to go through to become to get a legal visa to come to the United States. It is insane. I show up on one-way tickets to pretty much anywhere in the world and get in with very little hassle. The places that have visa on arrival, I've never been turned away, not one time. I'll get questioned, sure, but reality is I'm still privileged. I'm an American, and I'm always going to be a privileged American regardless of what happens. Donald Trump is temporary. His legislation is temporary. 3.5 years, worst case 7.5 years. I mean, it's just the reality of it. So guys, I know this one got a little bit long-winded because it's a frustrating subject for me because I am really seriously in the middle on President Trump and international relations and liberals and conservatives and these fucking echo chambers that people are creating. It's frustrating to be on the outside looking in. And I apologize for getting a little ranty, but if you guys have been following me for a while, you know I tend to do that. But look, man, I'm going to keep traveling, y'all. No matter who's in the White House, I'm going to keep it moving. As long as they keep letting me get these passports and people keep welcoming me into their countries with open arms. I will be, let's see, March, April, I'll be going to, I booked all my flights, so I'm flying into Berlin, I'll be in Germany, then I'm going up to Poland for a couple of weeks, then I'm going overland to Belarus, new country, come back, I go to Gdansk, Poland, I fly from Gdansk, Poland to Malta, new country. I'm in Malta for about 4 days, then I fly from Malta to Luxembourg, new country. Then I go from Luxembourg to somewhere else I've got 2 week, like a 10-day window there. Then I go to Copenhagen, like on April 21st, 22nd, something. Go meet up with some friends for 3 days, and we're gonna hang out in Copenhagen. Then I fly from Copenhagen in New York City. Then I'm in the U.S. for about 2.5 weeks, into April, beginning of May. Then I go to South America, check off a bunch of countries. Go to Central America, check off some more countries, and keep it moving, y'all. Needless to say, man, traveling under Trump really doesn't change much for me. So again, leave the world better than you found it. Comment below, subscribe and share if you haven't, and I will see you guys next time.